Just to get in on the Death Note month fun, Netflix decided to release the second trailer to their live-action American Death Note film. And as the amazing prophet Bubsy once said, what could possibly go wrong? Well, so yes, just a couple hours ago the second trailer released. As you might recall, I wasn't a big fan of the first trailer. I had several key issues with it, and I was hoping this trailer would fix the issues. And so, since I'm the Death Note guy at this point, I think it's my duty to tell you my thoughts on the trailer. I'm a bit more positive on this one, but positive isn't really the word I'd use for this anyways. Let's just dig right in. So, firstly, yes, light still bothers me a bit. Now I'm going to outright say that this is an adaptation, and so I'm going to have to accept some changes to the source material. It's an inevitability. Unfortunately, I will never be able to completely separate these two works because they have the same name. Much like Ghostbusters with its most recent reboot, by naming the work Death Note, which is the same name as the original, it will only be inviting comparisons to the original. And because of that, I find this version of Light conflicting. He seems like he's been made less calculating, less brilliant, and more edgy and even more emotional. This gives the trailer a strange sort of tone, since what I know Light to be doesn't reflect at all in this version of him. From a non-biased perspective, he might be alright. I can't imagine a new viewer having as much of an issue with him, but for Death Note fans it's going to be hard to enjoy this version of Light. He still goes through similar actions, but so far he seems to be approaching the whole ordeal differently. For example, my least favorite part of this trailer from a Death Note fan perspective is when he states that they're not the good guys anymore. The problem is that Death Note had no good guys. Both of the main characters were in a moral gray, both appealing to their own sense of justice with their own flaws. This makes the Light character feel wrong, since the original intention was to portray him utilizing the Death Note to follow his own sense of justice. Implying that he doesn't agree with his own ideals bothers me slightly, and I really don't like that direction for him. And yes, I still hate his hair. Fight me. L is looking better to an extent, I guess. I was fearful that the actor may not be able to pull L off, and well, he seems to be doing it better than before. He sits like L, and in his speech he talks like L. He's unfortunately making no effort to look like L. And I know some of you are rolling your eyes because the obvious differences in appearance color-wise, but I could care less. I mean more what he's wearing, and how it seems like he's going for a completely different look. I think he might be an alright L in some regards, but with that kind of outfit, I'm going to have a hard time viewing these two as the same character. Still, improvements have been made, so I'll appreciate that. Also, man, one of the really nice parts is Ryuk. Oh man, he seems just as good as I was hoping he would be. Willem Dafoe is doing a good job so far. I think he's giving off the exact tone I'd want Ryuk to give off, with this whole ominous feeling coming off of him. Oh man, I love his laugh too. It sounds like he literally jumped right out of the original Death Note dub, and I love it so much. So props on that, guys. So, we need to get the big elephant out of the room. This movie is not going to be like Death Note tone-wise. It clearly is going to be an action-focused film centered on the effects of Kira and trying to make the Death Note plot more action-packed. Everything from the obvious Ferris wheel scene, to the running from the cop scenes, to Light literally looking like he's gonna get captured implies a completely different tone for this film. I'm extremely conflicted on this as a Death Note fan. I liked Death Note because it was slow, calculating, and made even the simplest of tasks seem interesting. It didn't need crazy set pieces to be fun. By the same token, this film is being made for a completely different audience. Not all Americans enjoy this kind of slow boil show or movie. Action tends to do much better in America, so it makes sense that they'd make the film better fit the target audience. As much as we all love Death Note, we aren't the target audience here, and obviously they aren't trying to appeal to us. This is why I'm conflicted. This movie seems to want to be taken as a work on its own, but it also seems to want to use the Death Note name to gain popularity. I'd actually like it better if they tried an original cast and story, using the Death Note as a tool for the story. Trust me, I'd adore it if someone did this in anime form, for example. As it is, the movie is trying to go for a completely different tone that I don't think fits the original Death Note, while still using its name and characters. I do need to say one thing though. As a movie on its own, this trailer looked much better than the last one. Might I say, I actually have some vague kind of excitement for it now. As a Death Note fan, I still think it won't get close to the heights of the original series, but on its own it might be alright. I mean, I love Death Note. Of course I don't want to go in, watch it, and have to make a video on how much I hate it. I want to like it, and this looks like it might not be the dumpster fire I thought it would be originally. So, I come out of this trailer really mixed. This is a step up from the last trailer to be sure, but I don't think Death Note fans are gonna like it at all. Regardless, I'm going to watch this movie. Heck, I don't have a choice. My audience will want to know my thoughts on the movie considering the amount I talk about this series on this channel. And don't worry, I'll be watching it come August 25th to see how it turns out. If this trailer is anything to go by, it actually might be alright in some regards, but I'm still worried immensely about it. Going from that garbage trailer to a passable trailer isn't enough to make it good. Regardless, we'll see come launch day how it goes. I hope I have good things to say, but I might not at the same time. We'll have to see. But hey, why don't you give me your thoughts on the Death Note Netflix trailer in the comments below? And hey, if you like this, why don't you go check out my other Death Note videos since I've literally got piles of them. Check out my theories, my music analysis, or really anything I've made because I've got lots of videos on it. And hey, if you enjoy this, why not give it a like or perhaps subscribe to the channel? And hey, I'm going to be putting out a new video in like a day or two, so get excited for that. There's not really much else to say besides see you later.